All right. On today's 30-minute mechanic, it's been a few days since I've done a video, but we're going to look at our new, not new, no, so not new. We're going to check out one of our other cars that I've had forever that we finally got back in the shop, and I'll give you a little rundown on it and tell you what we got in store for it. So buckle up, let's go. Yep. You might have guessed. It's the 83 GT. Had this car for a long time, and I've had a lot of fun with it. We've had a lot of different engines in it, from big blocks to naturally aspirated big blocks to naturally aspirated small blocks to nitro small blocks to turbo small blocks. Now we're back to big block again. And I know you've seen this engine sitting in the background. This is the motor that goes in this car. It's a 552 cubic inch big block Ford Super Cobra jet heads. About 11.5 to 1 compression. It does have a hydraulic flat tappet in it. I forgot what it is. Some comp cams, Extreme Marine, I think. Camshaft I put in it. This car, as you can probably see, the wiring is a disaster on it. It was at one point it was really simple when I first built it, and then stuff got added on, other things got added on, more stuff got added on, things got taken out, more stuff put in, and now it's just a disaster of wiring. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to pull all the wiring out of this thing, all the stuff that I've added over the years, and we're going to redo it, because this motor is going to be the simple one. We're going to run the HEI distributor, so real simple deal there, and then we're going to put a 1-wire alternator on it, so another real simple. Run the carburetor on it. This is going to be my simple go-to car that just works. Knock on wood, cross my fingers, hope that happens. That one over there, the green car, which I did do a little work on this past weekend, as you can tell. Coils in, radiator hoses in, plug wires are on, and I even made a notch to mount the battery. I haven't made a battery mount for it, but made a notch to mount the battery in it. So it's kind of coming along. I didn't really video any of that. So I'll catch you up on that car in another video. But back to this one. This car, just kind of the rundown on it. It has a, I don't know if a light, has a QA1 tubular cross member in it. I got that from a buddy a long time ago. Manual Flaming River rack, and that does still have the power brake booster in it. Line lock, but I mean, as you can see, there's just wiring everywhere. And I've had nitrous wired up on this, and it's been EFI, so it's had everything else. And we added the Dixie horn to it, and that's more wiring that we're just going to have to clear it out and clean it up. Now, moving on. It's been on these Summit wheels, gosh, forever. It's been a fun car. Interior on this thing, when I got it, it was baked. It was a West Texas car, so I mean, it just baked to a crisp. And I cleaned everything, and let's take this off zoom. Off wide angle. Everything was just baked. The interior is crunchy. And let's put it back on that. There we go. And we might be able to turn it up. Yeah. Pretty stock. Made some gauges, mounted on the dash. AFR, and then it had a boost gauge up there, shift light, and then oil pressure, water temperature down here. Under the dash in this thing, I don't know if you can see back in there, under the dash and everything is just a rat's nest of wiring that I've done over the years just to get things added when I needed to. And gosh, it got to the point where it's just unreliable, and I can't, with the EFI, it just had so much noise from stuff that it was causing problems. That's why I went back to the carburetor in the first place, is because I had so much noise. I had to get the car running for Rocky Mountain Race Week, and couldn't deal with rewire and everything. So that's where we're at. We're gonna rewire this thing, make it simple. Just a couple of switches, probably one for the electric fans and one for ignition, and let everything go on. Got a B&M shifter in it. Had this shifter in it, line lock button. Been a great shifter. Car normally runs a C6 transmission. Oh man, I just whacked my knee and it hurts really bad. Oh, C6 transmission. Had really good luck with it. It just, like I said, they just work. There's a 6-point roll bar in it. It's a Maximum Motorsports roll bar. It had the removable harness bar on it when I got it, and then I had a friend weld in a fixed harness bar a few years ago, just so the car would be definitely 10.0 legal. To 275, 60, 15 on the old Summit wheels. I got a Nitto drag radial on it right now, just for, they kind of work, they kind of don't. They're okay. It's a good compromise between a street tire and a drag radial. Not as good as a slick by any means. Pulled the back seat out of it. I still have it. But I'm probably not going to put it back in. It's just so roomy without it. When you're doing a drag and drive, you've got plenty of room to put your suitcases and coolers and everything else in there without that seat in there. I hate rear mounted batteries. 100%. This has a rear mounted battery. I used a putter head here for my cutoff. I just figured that was about the best use for a golf club ever, is to turn my battery off. That's changing. I am not going to leave the battery back here because, man, I hate it. I hate batteries in the back. They're just trouble. That one's been okay, but it has been trouble in the past. And so that is going to get changed. We are going to put it back up. In fact, the factory battery in these early Foxes goes on the passenger side. I don't want it over there. So I'm going to mount it. I'm going to take this out, because really all it's doing is being an overflow from my radiator, and I can do that a different way. I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to mount the battery over on that side, even if I have to cut out, kind of like I did on the green car, and mount it somewhat into the fender well. But battery's going to that side, and all this stuff's going to get pulled out and cleaned up, redone. Because I mean, it's almost embarrassing to kind of show this stuff, how much it's been scabbed onto over time, to add relays for this, relay for that, add nitrous, relays for nitrous solenoid, change the ignition, do this, do that. Oh my word. So all that's getting changed. Now this is a T-top car. As you can see, which T-tops are awesome because you can pop the tops out and listen to your big block sing. When I first built this, we did put subframe connectors in it. They were the bolt-in style that I ended up welding in, and it has UPR single adjustable lower control arms in it, stock springs in the back, strange single adjustable shocks, stock upper control arms, And the front is a strut setup. You can see in there. And I finally got a spring on it that was good. That was a good rate for the front of this thing, because I went a long time with a strut spring that was too soft, and it was just like no travel, because it was just like smashed the whole time. Speedway Motors, not sponsored in any way. Speedway Motors radiator. Run a big, pretty big transmission cooler on it, and an HHR, Chevrolet HHR fan. Had good luck with them things. That's what we typically run. It keeps this big motor cool. Car's kind of dirty. It's been sitting outside at my house under a car cover. So we'll kind of clean that up. And there you go. The 68 Hemi hood scoop. I know. Mopar scoop on a Ford. It's kind of one of the things that makes this car kind of stand out, because people are like, why does he got a big scoop? Why does he got a big Mopar scoop on a Ford? Well, oh, that's a story. Okay. Originally this car had the 83, the stock 83 hood scoop on it, when I had a 950 HP carburetor on it, and I could run a smaller air filter, and I could actually get it all into the hood, because we're running K-member spacers on here. I don't know if you can see. K-member spacer, right? There's my finger, right there. K-member spacer. So that makes everything fit really well on these with the big block. But I switched to a Dominator, 1050 Dominator carburetor, and that required a larger diameter air filter. Well, the factory 83 scoop wouldn't fit anymore, and I didn't have a cowl hood available at that time. So anywhere close in there, really expensive. So I thought, hey, I kind of like the way the 68 Hemi scoops look. I wonder if I could adapt it to a Mustang. So I ordered one from VFN Fiberglass, and it showed up, and yeah, I could. And it gave me the hood clearance that I needed to clear the big air filter over the Dominator carburetor, and everything fit good. So that's kind of the story of, my friends call it the pizza box. Other guys have called it the what is it? The roadkill. What's the roadkill charger? No, can't think of it. Now why couldn't I think of that? The general maintenance hood scoop, because they put one on a General Mayhem's good hood scoop. That was it. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, that's pretty much the rundown on this thing. Got our Rocky Mountain Race Week certified streetcar sticker on it. And that was horrifyingly screechy loud. Just your basic red Foxbody interior. Now I told you, the interior was just crunchy when I got it. Everything was baked. It had vinyl seats in it then, and you just sit on and they just crunched underneath you. Now, for the most part, I pulled all the plastics out of this, and I sprayed it with SEM interior paint, that plastic paint stuff, and it has held up extremely well, and it's done really good. I painted everything: armrest, center console, dash, door panels. I mean, I painted these door panels back in 2009, I think, and they've really worn well. I did put a carpet kit in here. All of these panels back here I painted. They're all dusty. They need to be cleaned off. But they were white from discoloration. And I painted them with that SEM paint, and they turned out fantastic. So if you ever need a good interior paint, that SEM stuff's quality stuff, and it'll last for years. So, one more thing. I know for some people are probably wondering, hey, what kind of brakes are you running on that car? Well, stock 83 GT brakes. That would be drums in the rear, and the small discs up front, not even the big discs like you get with an 87 to 93 Mustang. I actually have some of those spindles and brakes, but I just never have changed over to them because these seem to work. The car's been 135 and a quarter mile and never had any trouble slowing down. With the big block, it used to run 10 teens, the low 10 teens. Quickest was 10-12, I think, at 135 or something like that. With that short block, different cylinder heads and a solid roller, it ran really well with that combination. And I don't expect the few times I've had that motor in this car at the track, I never got it to run like I wanted to, and it was having troubles, I think, with the converter. Now, the converter I had in it, I think, was just too loose, and it just never felt right. So I went low 11s with that setup with the hydraulic flat tappet. So, excuse me. I expect it, if it runs in the low 11s, 11 20s, 11 teens, maybe here in Amarillo, and then maybe tickle the high 10s when we go someplace like Noble, Oklahoma. That'll really make me happy. I really think it's capable of it. Just got to get it sorted out and running the right way. I have switched converters. The converter I had in it, I think, was too loose. It's either too loose or it's damaged. I ran it in my yellow turbo pickup for a little bit, and I think it may have hurt that converter because it never really seemed the same after that. The converter I'm putting back in is the same one we ran on Rocky Mountain Race Week in 2023. It seemed to work good. It may be a little tight, but if I'm going to, use this thing, drive it to the track, and maybe do drag and drive stuff with this some more, I'd rather have it a little tighter than looser. Now, one other thing you may notice is, hey, James, those headers are pointed to the front. Yep. I did go down the front exit exhaust rabbit hole with this the last time. I used to run Hooker Super Comps on it, and I had an old set that they've just seen better days. They're kind of worn out, and I used to hang them on the trailer all the time. And in fact, I hung one of them on the trailer bad enough that it bent it pretty severely. So Hooker doesn't make them anymore. So kind of in a pinch for headers because nobody makes a header for a big block Ford in a Foxbody anymore. So you just kind of got to do what you got to do to get exhaust out of these things. Now, while they are front exit exhaust, there's a lot of junk on the floor here. They do have mufflers. So I set it up where the right side exhaust turns and comes out the left side of the car, and the left side turns and goes out the right side. And there's a small chambered muffler just in front of the front tire on each side. It's kind of noisy. It's actually really noisy on the road. It's kind of loud. The jury's out on whether or not I really want to leave it that way or not. But for now, it's already built, and I can just put it all back together. So, one other little thing I forgot. Rear end. Hey, James, what rear end's in this car? Well, it's an 8.8 with a stock limited slip with an extra clutch stuck in there. It does have C-clip eliminators. It has Summit brand 28 spline axles in it. 28 spline. This car has gone 140s, 140 60 foots on 28 splines, and they have been held up just fine. I mean, that's not super quick. I mean, that's okay. It's got 355 gears in it. So, I mean, that's pretty all right, I guess, for a 355 gear. You could probably 60 foot quicker with a steeper gear, but got to maintain a little bit of street ability with the 355 gear. But yeah, 28 spine axles, never seem to have trouble with them with the big block. All right, that's going to do it for 30 Minute Mechanic today. Just kind of give you a rundown on our 83 GT and what we're going to do to it, and kind of what the direction we're headed with that thing is. So check the description. Go check out my friends' channels. Give them a like, subscribe, see what those guys are up to. There's some good guys on there. They're always coming up with interesting things. So as always, like, subscribe, ring the bell, tell your friends, and we'll see you next time. Bye.